Horizon Gents, reaction. This is Unbiased History, Byzantium for the Great Byzantine-Sassanid War Part 2. I reacted to 30 minutes of the video. I couldn't go through the entire video because it would have been way too long. So yeah, this second part. So far we've seen how, Sassanid basically bit-slapped Byzantines first time ever. Byzantine Empire, Roman Empire, I see that as same. So that's the first time in history they've been that powerful. They were losing because who was that? Phocas was his name. Yeah, that guy was an asshole. Everybody hated him apparently. That made Heraclius' rise pretty easy. Heraclius is obviously the Chad guy who's gonna save everybody, and he did basically. He turned the tide completely while every barbarians was invading Byzantine Empire. Sassanid was kicking Byzantine's ass. So, they were getting, kicked around all over the place. Then Heraclius basically, went himself in the battle and started to kick Byzantine's ass. Made treaties here and there. So other, barbarians would attack because it doesn't matter how great you are, you can't fight battle in all fronts. So then he went after Byzantines and actually kicked their ass. Now in here, it's declined. So I guess he's gonna kill Khosrow or something in the end. Just completely, destroy Sassanids or something. I guess we'll see. I like Unbiased History. The way he explains things is quite storytelling. Especially when he describes Sassanid like these evil people with that, Skyrim type of graphics in the background. I don't know why I imagine them like that. When I'm hearing that, then I remember, wait a minute, this is just a parody. That's not reality. But, the way he explains it, you really get immersed in that. I really like that. So let's watch this one. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the Khosrow plays like Dovahhatty's playlist I created with all of my Dovahhatty reactions. So check that out if you haven't watched any, I guess. Check out the playlist like History, Oli Sarkastic Production, Internet Historian, CGB Grey. Yeah, let's watch this one.
Started the end of the war. Leaving for the Caucasus in his special mission, Shahin saw the chance to attack the legions while he was away. And, to put it mildly, he got annihilated by Fyodor. The complete and utter slaughter of his 50,000...
See, that's what I'm saying. Before Heraclius took the helm, basically, let's just say, it was even match, right? Sassanids attacking Byzantines, and it was even match. Both sides suffer many losses. But now it's back to the thing was like before. Byzantines being way too overpowered. They're just kicking everybody's ass because of Heraclius.
Strong Sassanid horde so humiliated Shahin that he either killed himself or died of depression, unable as he was to face the wrath of Khosrow. As for Heraclius' northern venture, it was to contact the Khazars, now raiding the distracted Sassanids. To get the barbarian chief to serve Rome, beyond the obvious Christian magic, Heraclius also gave the Khan several expensive gifts, gave him a free pass to loot Persia into oblivion, and promised his daughter Epiphania's hand in marriage, resulting in him pledging his hordes to the emperor, though in a weird way. Now united on the battlefield, Heraclius' first target was to liberate the Christian Caucasus from Sassanid tyranny by taking Tbilisi, making Khosrow send Sharaplakan with reinforcements to defend it. Defend it against traction trebuchets, that is. He failed, to no one's shock, and though the Khan's life would be lost in the siege, the Khazars eventually breached in and beat Sharaplakan. And just like that, the tides of war had shifted. To Heraclius...
Where's Heraclius? And that guy like, who is this? They just attacked the guy and killed him and don't even know who he is. They're just waiting for Heraclius. Where is that guy?
That was all too clear, which is why he had left the Khazars to finish the siege, taking some of them with his legion south, crushing a local Sassanid horde, and invading Mesopotamia yet again. Meanwhile, suffering from his ever weaker state, Khosrow grew ever madder and crueler, dead set on perpetual war. When he heard of Shahin's defeat and death, he ordered his body transported back to Ctesiphon, where he whipped it himself into unrecognizability for his failure. And when Sharaplakan was defeated, he got even madder, so mad that when he learned of Sharvaras's failure to destroy Constantinople, he sent a letter ordering for his officers to kill him, which the Romans intercepted on the way, and gave it to Sharvaras.
Okay, the Khosrow is going crazy, right? Because he's losing people left and right. Only one guy is left and he's like, oh, you couldn't destroy Constantinople. It's not that easy. Everybody knows that, even at that time. So, but he's still like, okay, kill that guy because I want to, shoot myself in the leg right now. That's just effed up. He is going crazy here. He is losing it basically.
Instead. And due to Khosrau's ever weaker grasp on his minions, the indignation made Sharvaraz break from his command and act on his own accord. Telling his horde Khosrau also wished to execute hundreds of officers as well, they revolted against him under Sharvaraz, depriving Khosrau of his best general. Revolt meaning he marched to Antioch and refused to follow Khosrau's orders anymore. And now, despite 3 decades of war, so many years of fierce campaign, and the advent of winter, even with most of the Khazars leaving for their homeland, Heraclius and the last 25,000 legionnaires in the world marched on to take Khosrau. Having run out of options, Khosrau chose to play his last card, summoning his last horseman, Razad, to the battlefield, giving him the last remains of the hordes he still had and forming one last massive horde to once and for all defeat Heraclius and kill the last of the Romans, with him evading his approach until nearing the ancient ruins of Nineveh. Standing nearby the ruined capital of a long-gone, quote-unquote, civilization, Heraclius chose its plains to prove that where others might fall, Romans would stand victorious. However, fearing the outcome of the battle, Razad and some of his men came to Heraclius the day before it, challenging him to one-on-one combat to decide the victor. Heraclius agreed to the duel, and this fight that was to decide
Yeah, so basically, the people are losing respect for Khosrau. Even this guy's like, fuck him, I'll do this my way. Because obviously the way he treated the other guy and tried to kill him, I mean, Khosrau is just losing it basically. And people are losing respect for him. So, it's already done basically. Khosrau is done.
The decades-long war and the fate of both empires was a misswing and a thrust to the chest, ridding the world of yet another horseman. 2 of his furious subordinates then surprise attacked Heraclius, cutting his mouth, a transgression which cost them dearly. Those too scared to attack him fled the scene, ignoring the duel's terms and set on starting the battle anyway. The Sassanids then split off into 3 separate hordes to attack the Romans, and having learned some tricks from the barbarian nomads, Heraclius ordered a feigned retreat through the plains, only to then suddenly turn back and charge straight at the Sassanids. The culmination of the war coming down to a foggy, misty morning, diminishing the power of the Sassanid arrows and cavalry, and thus
basically that's to catch them off guard, because they will basically immediately drop the defensive position and just run after them thinking that they're retreating. So if they suddenly turn around, everybody would not have a chance to basically go into defensive position. So it's a surprise attack in a way,
making it all depend on each soldier's resolve and unit cohesion. It all coming down to discipline, the Romans beat the barbarians in battle, sending the survivors fleeing away,
but the main guy's
the
dead.
last army Khosrau had. This great victory achieved, Heraclius celebrated Christmas with his legions in his camp, conducted a raid on one of Khosrau's palaces, recovering several long-lost eagle standards, and organized his troops for one more mission. With the defeat at Nineveh, the chaos in Ctesiphon, and an outbreak of plague, Khosrau's madness only magnified, demanding all demon men, women and children to prepare and die for his glory. It was at the peak of Khosrau's madness he received a final ultimatum from Heraclius, saying, "Let us pursue peace, let us quench the fire, before it burns down everything." He flat out refused to burn down everything.
Even at this stage, Heraclius is like, let's pursue peace, I don't want to wipe every one of you out. Damn, the guy is really good, right? Because Khosrau is definitely done. No people are left, he's going crazy, it's very easy to take him down now. But he's still saying like, it's not necessary to have too much bloodshed. I don't want to kill people unnecessarily. Let's talk peace, that's something.
Why? That's all Khosrau ever wanted. Meanwhile, near Ctesiphon, as prisoners awaited to have their souls devoured, their enslavement camps were one day suddenly thrown in complete disarray. In but a flash of a moment, all Sassanid guards began falling dead, and for those that would look attentively, they would find their emperor standing right in front of them, having freed the Patriarch of Jerusalem, and all of them as well. After freeing the Roman captives, Heraclius found that Khosrau, in his madness, destroyed all bridges leading to Ctesiphon, forcing him to move north and re-strategize. With the constant defeats and weakening grasp over his minions, Khosrau distrusted them more and more, ordering the imprisonment of his least loyal son, Shahryar, and ordering all to fight until every last demon was slain. But sad lowly demons, even them ever freer from Khosrau's command, turned their backs on him, with the great demonic Sassanid houses led by Sharvaraz the Zone forming a conspiracy against him. After murdering all of his...
Come on, man, it's not a conspiracy. I seen that coming few minutes ago, basically. The way he's going, like, you know, his battle is still going on. He refuses the peace talk from Heraclius when clearly he's lost. He's risking every single person for this lost fight. Obviously, people are going to be like, okay, now you're just being stupid and we're not going to die because of your stupidity. This was bound to happen.
Sons, the Sassanids shot Khosrau into the ground with arrows, who, after getting so weakened, just bled to death on the floor and vanished from the mortal plane, resulting in the rise of the only surviving son, Shario, to power, now acclaimed as Kavad II. After such devastation brought upon the Sassanids, Kavad II sent a letter to Heraclius' camp, in it containing that which Heraclius had sought for all of these decades. As he read the message, the monumental burden falling from his shoulders as he finished it, Heraclius told his men to go west with the news. The Sassanids had surrendered. Rome had won.
Alright, so I see what happened there. I guess, you know, the few details he didn't talk. I guess Khosrau's son was suing for peace, basically. That's why he had him imprisoned. And obviously, he had more people behind him because it made sense. Like, okay, why not talk peace to him? Why reject it? Why Khosrau being stupid and, you know, being way too angry? Like, you know, the war is still going on. We could still win it or whatever. Every man and woman fight for the Sassanids or something. Well, everybody knows the war is already lost. We're just going to lose people left and right. It's going to be bloodshed. So the Khosrau's son probably saw that. And there was a conspiracy in behind. Like, okay, we have to take Khosrau out and claim the Khosrau's son as, you know, the king or whatever, and he can talk peace treaties then. That's what happened, I guess.
In short, after decades of war, the Sassanids were to return all occupied provinces to the empire, free any remaining prisoners they still had, pay a warrant...
Okay, is this guy going to, you know, accept that? I don't think he's going to accept that. He's like, I'm my own guy now.
Indemnity, guarantee religious freedom for all Christians under Sassanid tyranny, and return all stolen treasures they had plundered. And now we focus on Kavad again, for peace with the Romans wouldn't save the Sassanids from their fate, as still remaining with all the powers that binded them, more and more local demons began splitting into fragmented hordes, all while the Avars kept invading and the plague spread all throughout western Persia, killing half of the population, including Kavad II. His young son, Ardashir III, succeeded him to power, but only in name, starting a brutal civil war among the Sassanid demons over the privilege of ruling the shitty sand dunes. Word of the chaos in the east later reached Sharvaraz, who after learning they had lost the war and seeing the opportunity to seize power, he made an agreement with Heraclius where he was recognized as the eastern tyrant in return for fucking off without a fuss. For only offering Epiphania's hand in marriage to a barbarian, again, Heraclius had expelled all Sassanids from Roman lands, proving once again the might of the Roman spirit. Sharvaraz...
Wait a minute, so is he offering his daughter's hand to people and not actually marrying her or something? That's just something.
Then march east, take Ctesiphon, seize power and start a brutal purge of all defiant demons therein. Something the Khazars were also doing, forcing him to send most of his horde to go drive them off. A horde which the Khazars completely surrounded.
Khazars just joined the game very late stage. They don't even know what's happening and what's the history there. They're just having fun, I guess.
And destroyed, continuing to lay ruin to the Sassanids. As he looked upon his lands, the ravages of war, civil war, and plague having laid all of Satan's work to ruins, Sharvaraz was impaled by a spear, ordered thrown by one of Khosrau's daughters, one of the many usurpers now fighting the civil war. And so the Sassanids continued infighting, fragmenting, and plaguing their way into further and further decline, a path that would lead to their complete destruction in a matter of years.
I mean, it's been, what, centuries since the Sassanids trying to attack Roman Byzantine Empire. Khosrau basically was the last guy who was really powerful and did actually some shit. But as soon as the tides turned and he was defeated and all his main commanders defeated, obviously this was about to happen. Power vacuum would happen like that. and it would destroy the entire country or whatever. So there you go, Sassanids cease to exist now.
Bringing an end to the centuries-old rivalry with
Seriously.
Rome and the final war between them. The Antichrist had been defeated, the horseman of the apocalypse vanquished, and most important of all, the half of the true cross the Sassanids took was returned as part of the peace treaty. And with the triumph of Roman Christianity, the greatest triumph of the era began. Welcome back to Constantinople. Heraclius paraded through the streets on Sassanid war elephants alongside his veterans, displaying the retaken true cross and celebrating with all the end of the war. Declaring over a week of festivities, Heraclius was acclaimed not as Persicus, not as the Great, but as Scipio, as the legendary hero that saved Rome from its worst barbarian rivals at its darkest hour. So that all could behold it, Heraclius placed the cross on the Hagia Sophia as his foremost thanks to God for this great victory, as well as for the son he had with Martina that wasn't doomed to incestuous death, Heraclonus, little Heraclius. Of course, the cross didn't remain there, with Heraclius later returning it to its original, now restored resting place, Saint Constantine's Church of the Holy Sepulchre. It was almost too good to be true, but there it was, and with the true cross returned to its rightful place, the Sassanids defeated for good, and the empire stable and at peace, Heraclius had realized the dream that he once had. A dream to save his people from tyranny and dishonorable usurpers. A dream to save his Christian brothers and sisters from the heathens that so antagonized them. A dream to defend his homeland and civilization from those that would see it destroyed and forgotten. A dream to purge this rotten world of all the traitorous heathens and barbarians that infested it. A dream Heraclius fought for his entire life. A dream called Rome.
So, yeah, man, one thing for damn sure. Over 1,000 fucking years. there's constant conflict between empires like Sassanids or some barbarians. There's always guys like Heraclius rises up, and eventually there's another war, and eventually somebody has to rise up again. It's constant fucking fighting. That's it. That's the summary of past 1,000 years, I guess, from here.
However, this was not the end of Heraclius' story. It is often said that had Heraclius died right then and there, he would have been remembered as one of Rome's greatest heroes, which he was. But history is a fickle bitch, and just when the empire began recovering from the war, it would face a new enemy emerging from the southern deserts. An enemy so great it would torment the Romans for far longer than the Sassanids. An enemy so strong it would indeed eventually bring the apocalypse. The enemy of... What was that? Yeah, duh, we all know what happens next. The hell you mean I can't? It's what the series is all about. I don't like to pull punches.
Oh, it's gonna talk about Islam, Arabs, right? Man, I'm not gonna lie, the shit he did with the Jews in the Roman cities and so far here, I don't know what he's going to do in the next episode. I guess that's what he's talking here. Like, I can't say it because seriously, I don't know what he's going to do in the next episode, right? How he's going to portray Arabs in a way. Oh god, this must be effed up. Damn. The next episode is going to be something.
Just sure, but... Yes, I know. But still, to treat them as being beyond this level of banter is such patronizing bullshit, treating them like children. I did it with the Germans, Gauls, Jews, Britons, Persians, fucking Samnites, damned everyone the Romans despised and... Just give it to me here. I'll read it myself. Oh. Ugh. I think you're right.
The holy book of community guidelines.
Hard to say, because this seems to be written as broadly as possible to maximize fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you don't need to tell me twice about some people taking seriously. I already know some just don't care for disclaimers. Don't know why I even bother making those. But I can't just stop now. No way, we've come so far. Have you any idea about the wild shit that happens next? Gouging every single one of their eyes, all crazy wild stuff. So yeah, not missing out any of that shit. Well, we could approach it in a different way. A different series, so to speak. Hear me out, hear me out. Really now, imagine me portraying them like I did the Huns or the Germans, God forbid. Can you imagine that on YouTube? Ooh, ish, ah. Yeah, so it's a different kind of thing. But wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, I think I'll do it. Yeah, definitely. Nah, if I ask the plutocracy, we'll ruin the surprise. I'm sure they'll like it. Who cares what the plebs think? They just watch this for free. Yeah, right. See you in the favela. No, I'm not directly asking them to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the cringiest part of every video these days. Point taken. We're all slaves to the satanic algorithm. Really now. Ciao ciao. Gotta finish this story for real.
Satanic algorithm. Oh god, seriously, I'm amped up for the next episode like I've never been with this series. How is he going to approach this, man? I mean, seriously, this is a touchy subject. I mean, any effed up thing, YouTube would go apeshit. Like, oh, hell no, you can't do that. I mean, he did portray every other type of people, like Jews, Germans, and every other people really effed up. And I guess YouTube didn't do anything. I mean, obviously, there was an instance in the early episode of him that he had to blur it out, certain things. But I don't know, man. I don't know how he's going to do the next episode. This is going to be fun. Alright, people, that was the Unbiased History, Byzantium 4, the Great Byzantine-Sassanid War. This is a Roman Empire, the way it went. Heraclius feels like a Roman emperor, the way he avenged his whole country, I guess. Alright, people, I'll see you next time.